Welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting for Thursday, May 9th, 2019. We have a request for approval for a temporary marketing sign at John Powers Lane, 649 Main Street, from Jackie Foster. Hello.
Good morning, hi.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
Everyone knows they changed the brewing schedule tonight, right?
They did?
What? Yeah, there's a game tonight.
Oh,
I found out, like, just, you know,
yeah,
just,
just-
you know, I went out a few days ago.
It
It was supposed to be on Saturday.
Oh,
So I wasn't sure, I've never done this before. This is the sign that's there now. I'll leave this with you guys.
And that's like allowed by right.
Yeah, that's just a regular post sign. It's out in front of the wall right now because the driveway wasn't done, there was snow and everything
yep, yep.
else. So basically, we went and we looked at what other signs are going on, and what actually prompted it is Tadmore put theirs up, and I realized we needed to get our act together on that.
Yep.
So, but we're putting ours actually back further. They just finished the stone walls, and actually the reason I brought this picture was to show you
So the,
that it's gonna be
Parallel.
in the driveway.
Gotcha, okay, yep.
When you pull in on the left, it actually won't even be seen two-sided. It's gonna be hugging the pole.
Yep,
Um,
yep, yep.
So the
Oh, yeah, this
road
is-
is
this-
actually
this is-
way up here.
yeah, this is way-
Yeah,
that's way-
but we've gotta be able to direct people
Yep.
when they come in, and I'd like to take this one down.
Yep,
And this is a picture bigger. It's basically my sign with the map.
yep.
If anyone wants to see the map, it's gonna be pretty sweet back there. Finally, and it ties into the town hall. So you can't see it from Main Street, but you, it's like actually adding to the, like, actually houses
Yeah.
that can walk to everything. It's gonna be so nice.
oh, there's a trail.
Yeah, it connects to everything.
Conservation trail?
Yep. Couple of trails. It connects to the power lines, which connects to,
Yeah.
over to Harvard.
Okay.
Anyway, so I wasn't sure what else. I mean, we'd like to keep with the color scheme. It's our brand.
No, that was
But we're
fine.
flexible, like, I mean, we can make it
It's fine.
any color you want.
No, it's fine.
basically just to announce what it is, show a picture, so when people pull in,
Yep.
they actually know. And if you have any requests, just let me know.
I guess you just need to get approval through the applications
Yeah.
for the
Oh, is there an application?
building
Yes, it's
inspector for the
online.
sign.
It's online.
And just get his.
And I send this picture with it, or what
Yes,
do I do?
anything you
Yeah.
can send will be
Okay.
helpful.
So, I mean, because it was kind of close to the center of town, so we don't want to take anybody off.
No, it looks fine, looks fine.
Okay,
It's great.
you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'll make a motion, just pending approval by the building inspector that we approve the sign for the temporary marketing sign at John Powers Lane at 64 Main Street for Jackie Foster and the company.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, so I'll do the next step. Thank you, sir. Hurry up with the meeting. I'm like, Bye.
We have a request for approval to post Bolton and Harvard open studio signs on private property. Ann Gillespie,
Yep.
hello, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Thank you.
So this is our second year of Open Studios. It's going to be in Bolton and Harvard again, and let's see, September 28th and 29th, Saturday and Sunday. So we're looking to put out signs, just the same exact signs as last year. We're just going to put a sticker with the updated date. And so we're looking for 2 weeks before the event to help advertise it and let people know where the studios are.
Okay. And you've obviously gotten approval by the private property owners to do that?
Yeah, it would be people participating in the
Yeah.
event, so, yeah.
Cool. What would be the maximum size of the signs?
Do you remember, they're the exact same ones
Same
from
size?
last year,
Okay.
yeah.
It's like a sandwich board kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like a realtor size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's the same that we approved last year, then that's
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion that we approve the request for approval of, within Bolton and Harvard to, Bolton, just in Bolton, I can't speak for Harvard, the open studio signs on private property.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is it good to come back each year, or is it okay to assume that that's okay each year?
I would say it probably is good just to come back
Sure.
and just, this way it's copacetic, and if, somebody else has a problem with it, at least
We
just.
can discuss it.
You've
Okay.
been in, and if you're gonna do the same thing, it's fine, it's just more formality.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care.
Have a nice night.
You too.
Well, if you can tell there's a Bruins game tonight.
So we have post-annual town meeting review. We have advisory, town clerk, town moderator.
It's just an annual agenda item we have after every annual town meeting.
Pretty calm for the most part.
Fast.
Yeah.
Even doing articles twice.
I mean, technically, we had 32 articles.
No, it was pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised how quiet it was for most of them, you know, given the, I guess part of it is just, you know, we didn't have a huge audience. Which hopefully next year we'll have a little more participation, which would be nice.
Yeah, I think, you know, there was a Bruins game and a Celtic game
And a Red Sox game, and
and a Red Sox game,
and
so.
the first non-rainy day in 47 days.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not any
Voters.
super controversial articles, so I think that.
Yeah.
The year before, we had 320, and I think we only had
Yeah.
130 something.
Oh, 124.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
Kind of quorum is 75.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were worried about making quorum.
I got some anecdotal feedback. I don't know if the board would be interested in hearing it.
Sure.
One was I had a question about whether the Board of Selectmen is planning to review the rates charged for waste disposal, not like penalties that the bylaw dealt with, but just general rates for people to dispose of things at the transfer station. So I don't know what's the,
So the stickers or like the
Yeah,
rates for
sticker.
a washing machine.
I think the whole kit and caboodle, but
Yeah.
particularly the stickers.
We typically do that on a sort of a yearly basis and look at whether or not, you know, the stickers are $250 and $125 and whether or not we wanna, raise that. I mean, obviously the impetus for what we put in the bylaw and the thing is that prior to this, there was no way to enforce the fact that, you know, people are dumping their trash. And I've gone up to the transfer station and spent some time just kind of milling around where they dump the garbage. And there are lots of people who come up and are just tossing stuff, and there are no stickers on there. And I mean, we're talking about $7,000 to $10,000 if you just sort of base it on anecdotal evidence. It's not an insignificant amount of money that we're losing just by people who are not buying the stickers. So at least this gives us a vehicle now to enforce that, because you had to have a bylaw to then reference the fine bylaw in order to do that, so.
And then the other two things I heard, a couple people asked about the status of the master plan, and I said probably the planning board would be the best folks to ask about that.
Exactly, they are the right folks. I mean, they really need to kick that off, and, you know, when you look at the master plan from years back, and we've done a number of things in that plan, and we haven't done some things, but, you know, we're always constrained on time and resources and the like, and,
Yep.
you know, money's always a problem. But, yeah, they're looking to move forward with, looking at ways to update that.
And then the last thing was somebody asked about, like childcare, and I didn't know anything about that.
For town meeting?
Yeah, like they had heard rumblings that maybe like there were gonna be volunteers, but I don't know if you're aware
But
of that.
the town has never organized childcare. There were a couple of years, at least one several years ago, where the school district did.
Oh, okay.
But the town has never organized that. We have no facilities to do that. That would be a liability we would need to take on. So there's never been any discussion by the town of
Yeah,
doing that.
I think that's probably best carried out by, you know, a citizen kind of
Like a
initiative,
volunteer.
volunteer initiative.
There was discussion after last year's town meeting that the Girl Scouts, I believe, might be approached about trying to organize that, but I don't think anything ever came of it.
Okay.
Yeah, the student officers, like in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade from Florence Sawyer were doing it. My daughter was part of that.
This year?
No.
Oh, okay, last year.
A few years ago, when, you know, a lot of people wanted to participate.
One of the pieces of feedback that I received immediately after the meeting was that the audio was not deemed to be sufficient for, I guess, many people. Until near the end of the meeting, the comment was that somebody made an adjustment somewhere, and all of a sudden the volume was up. And it could be heard, but it was very late in the meeting, so I'd suggest when you organize next year's meeting, you will work with Batco to try to sort that out, because the person I spoke with was very upset, and I was told they weren't the only one that was having problems hearing.
Yeah, my husband mentioned it too, but he thinks it's the speakers and the, not the tuner, the amplifier. Because the microphones are owned by Bolton Access.
Right.
And they work fine, but then
Yeah.
it's projected.
The microphones did work fine, but they were adamant that had to have been some sort of adjustment, because towards the end, the
Okay.
volume increased.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. There
Yeah,
certainly were several people who, come up to the mic and they want to talk about a foot away or, and I don't hear very well at all. I have bad hearing. So if I can't hear them, I immediately say, please step closer to the mic
Yeah.
so we can hear you. And I think I said that to 3 different people, so.
Yeah. And then there were some that were like
Right,
right in there.
Right.
So you had the other extreme, so.
Mhm.
So just something to note for next year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we should check and see if they did turn it up.
Right.
I wasn't aware of it.
The other thing I noticed is that they were turning it off and turning the mics back on when people, like, because we were constantly, especially you, Don, we're tapping and stuff, so I'm not sure what.
My understanding of those microphones is that someone in the back has to turn the microphone on for it to work.
Yes.
So if you just take the mic and start speaking right away, nothing's gonna happen because they can't react fast enough.
So they can't keep it live all the time?
Yeah,
They should.
Switch on
No, they were controlling it from some other
So they're doing
point.
something on the soundboard?
Yes.
Way up and back.
Well, they don't want all the ambient sound if they're all.
Right, so if
They're
it,
not
yeah,
that sensitive.
they're pretty good. But that's probably a learning curve we have to go through in terms
Yeah.
of getting used to that. I mean, they're a big improvement over the ones we had
Oh,
2 years
definitely.
ago and
Mhm.
last year.
I guess we should do a sound check when people are
Yeah,
sitting in
It's
the
a good idea.
audience.
Even, we do it
We do.
beforehand,
They did a
but
sound
even at the
check
beginning
just
of the
about
meeting,
10
we should
minutes
do it
outside.
again.
Yeah, we should.
5 minutes
When
before.
the auditorium's full.
Right.
'Cause,
Yeah.
you have that much sound deadening from all the people in there.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And there was one person who kind of spoke out from the crowd, and I said, you need to come up to the microphone, and the guy would stand up, and he was obviously somebody who was handicapped.
That was a good call, but.
And I said, you're fine, please speak loudly, but,
Yeah.
I don't think at least I know I didn't publicly say anything about anybody who had any,
Mhm.
physical inability to get to a microphone. We should, make sure we accommodate that to
Mhm.
certain.
We should have maybe designate a runner.
Have a run.
Yeah, we
They
used
used
to do
Yeah,
that.
we did used to do that.
I think Teresa used to do that.
Yeah, so we can speak with Patco about that too,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so that people know that that's an option. 'Cause
Right.
I mean, you feel terrible when you see that happen, you
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
we didn't really specifically, accommodate that.
Mhm.
I'd like to say a few words about the selectmen's role in the town meeting. Doug, I think you took a bullet for everybody by kind of putting it all on your shoulders that night. But the selectmen clearly have a role in making sure things go smoothly. We didn't fulfill that the way, as well as it's been done in the past and as well as it could be. So I commend you for your gracious posture at the meeting, but I don't think it's all on you. I also want to say that I think what I'm having a problem with is that we elected a chairman who I believe is supposed to speak for the selectmen, who's supposed to show leadership, and I don't think we got that on Monday night. I'm disappointed that Yeah, I think that to be chairman of the board of selectmen, you've got to be engaged with the civic activities, and you've got to be willing to show leadership. And I didn't see either of those on display Sunday night. So I apologize to the town, I apologize to you for my overestimating what kind of leadership and civic engagement was going to be demonstrated to the town that night.
Well, I think it's my job. I mean, I'm running the meeting, and I think I have a script that I write, which is helpful. And next year, it's gonna say, move the article, second the article. You know, that's the first thing that should be done.
Okay.
So I got a little bit, you know, just kind of caught up in moving things along, and I think it was only 3, but somebody thought it was 6, so we redid all 6. But
that still doesn't negate the responsibility of the board and certainly the chairman in this role. And that's why I took it upon myself to move the articles moving on, because it wasn't happening. And hopefully that will be rectified.
it won't happen again.
No, it won't happen again, because barring any consequences, I'll be chairman next year, and it won't happen again.
Great, are we done? So, moving on.
Would you like to address
No.
what did or
no.
didn't happen to tell me? All right, thank you. I just want to make sure you have the
I don't
opportunity.
think- Yeah, I don't think that's, you know, necessary.
Oh, really? Well, thank you very much, Jonathan. I'm glad that you don't think it's necessary to address that, so let's move on.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. No,
That was a
you
good
did a good job. Thank you very much, Doug.
Good night.
I mean, that's right.
Night.
So we have the town administrator's report.
And in keeping with the tradition of the meeting after the town meeting being brief, I have no news to report on Minuteman.
Oh, my God.
Still on budget, still on time. I'm gonna say that until a
Great.
year after the doors are open.
Great.
And the update on the portico, it'd be interesting to see how observant the board of selectmen are.
Very dramatic out there. It's floating.
It is floating. We started that procedure about a half a week later than we had planned, because we needed to do a little bit more work on shoring up the front of the building. Apparently the work was successful, because all 4 pillars are gone now, and the building's still standing.
But the back end is tipping up a little.
I felt that today.
And we didn't focus on it. We focused on the aesthetics of the front, and you'd be surprised how much more light's coming into the building. Like not having those 4 columns out there, so, but they're really, really moving now. Still on schedule, they're telling us for June, by the end of June. Could be June 30th at 11:59, but it's still June. And to the best of our knowledge, all the surprises have been found. So, of course.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be surprised,
Otherwise, they
would
would be
they?
surprises by definition.
Well, that's surprised tonight, there's no more columns.
Well, I mean, aside from the columns, the bases are up, they've done the digging
That's
around.
great. That's great.
That whole area there,
Great.
so they are really moving. They took them off-site, the original plan was to do them on-site, they took them off-site. They thought they could probably work them better that way. But all's going well. I spoke with Joe this afternoon, Joe's comfortable, so I just was curious to see if everybody noticed that or not. That's all I have for this evening.
Yeah,
Excellent.
no, I was impressed with how they were putting wooden bands around it to protect them, to
Yeah.
remove them.
Mhm.
So that's great. Board of Selectmen business, we have any public service announcements?
Yeah, actually, just one. I just want to say that you know, everybody in town, especially all the employees, I think they do an absolutely fabulous job. We have a tremendous and dedicated group of individuals who work for the town, who put in a lot of long hours. It's a thankless job, and I want to commend everybody, the people in town hall, the police department, including the chief, the DPW department, including Joe, the fire department, including Jeff, and certainly you, Don, for the service that you have given the town, and the fact that you renewed your contract for another 3 years. You know, I was part of the group that originally did the search committee to bring you on, and I have to say, all these years working for you has been an absolute joy to work, and I think everyone in town values your service. I think you've done an absolutely fabulous job, even though, you know, not everybody at this table wanted to renew your contract. I think you deserve the absolute credit of everybody in this town for the service that you've done. We look forward to working with you for the next 3 years, and certainly you know, upcoming next year, working with you, hopefully as chairman of the board. So, you know, thank you for your service. We greatly appreciate it.
I appreciate the kind words, but, you know, any manager is only as good as their staff. If you don't have a good staff, then
I agree.
manager just isn't gonna look good no matter how good you are. And I can't be more thankful than I am for the staff I have.
Yeah, it's absolutely great. So,
I second Stan's remarks.
I'll just remind everybody, there is an election on Monday, beginning at noon. Is that
Noon to
correct?
8 p.m.?
From noon to 8 p.m. At the high school.
vote early and vote often.
Is there a 50-50 raffle this year?
50-50 raffle.
The recommendation to appoint Corinne Mackey to the Council on Aging.
So moved.
Second,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Schedule next Board of Selectmen's meeting.
So this is the meeting where we schedule the meeting following the election, so then when the reconstituted board, the reorganized board can set the schedule for the rest of the year. 2 weeks is May 23rd. I've assumed that that's what the board would want to do. Already indicated to the Forbush Knoll folks and the Parks and Rec folks that it would be the 23rd just for planning purposes, but we could certainly reschedule that if that doesn't work for the board.
I think that's okay for me.
my only question would be, do you foresee an agenda that's very heavy or for that one or for the succeeding meeting? That we may have to cram a couple together, or?
I don't. We don't have a lot pending right now, unless I'm mistaken. So unless a lot comes out of the woodwork in the next 2 weeks, I think it would be a pretty comfortable agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. And the 23rd is excellent.
Sounds fine to me.
Wait, are you saying that's your next meeting?
Yes.
May 23rd, 2 weeks.
Well, I mean,
Pardon me?
we don't schedule this meeting because for you, dear, but, you know, the next meeting we'll consider what your
Where are we?
schedule.
Oh, I
is.
see.
What if we
Oh, it's
change-
2 weeks from today.
what if we
It's
change the
2 weeks.
time
Oh,
of it?
yes,
Will
it
that
is
help?
2 weeks. Okay, no, I'm confused.
If we serve hors d'oeuvres, will that for the animal?
Okay, I gotta go with the ball.
How late does that party go?
Was it tonight, 8?
Okay, so anyone who's watching, the Houghton Building's still having their open house. Time to get over there.
Free food.
Free food.
Approve bills, payroll warrants, W-19-22 and W-19-22A.
So moved.
Second,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And minutes, I'm gonna get those to you. Can you send those to me?
Yes, I will.
Outstandings?
Oh, that's
We need to get a move on, gentlemen. Minutes, let's go.
And now we're gonna move into executive session pursuant to MGLC 30A.
good night.
Good night.